This podcast is brought to you by the Deluxe Edition Network. To find more great shows on our network, head over to theden.show.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
You want to be my wife? Oh, this is going to go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World with
Johnny
and Mike D. No Lexi. Me and Lexi sat down here the other day and did the 12 movies of Christmas. Basically, we did our favorite movies that we like to watch this time of year, regardless of whether they're Christmas movies or not.
Huh.
So,
you wouldn't want to ask my favorite.
Yeah, what is your favorite?
Well, it has nothing to do with Christmas.
Okay.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Ah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's kind of because she's giving gifts.
Right. See? No, my favorite, but it's the one that always plays on TV. Christmas Story.
Oh, yeah. Well, I discounted that one, and I discounted A Wonderful Life, just because, like, that would be on everybody's list.
Right.
So I picked movies that I either have some kind of nostalgia for, or I remember them being on this time of year. My honorable mentions were Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman, the animated and the stop-motion picture.
Yeah.
But my number one, and it is a Christmas movie, my number one all-time favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard.
Right. Classic Christmas.
Classic Christmas movie. And Lexi argued with me that it's not a Christmas movie, that hers is more of a Christmas movie. I'm like, but mine takes place at Christmas. It's a Christmas party. There's Christmas gifts. There's Christmas killing.
Right.
So
the gift keeps on giving.
Yes. So we had a good time with that. We actually almost went 2 hours, bro.
Really?
Yeah. Like, we had a good time. We had some fun. I thought it was a pretty good episode. That is up now. You can watch that. Don't forget to go to the den.show and check out the Deluxe Edition Network. Network of podcasts, a bunch of different people out there. This month's highlighted podcast is Take on the World. So, but there's some good stuff out there. I actually listened to that Horsing Around podcast and
I did too.
I like that. I like those guys.
Yeah.
They're a lot like us. They're nuts. So
I assume they're from the same area as, well, where I'm at.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe someday we'll do a collab with them.
Yep. I got something coming up with Casey in a couple weeks. Do something with him. And he is on Saturdays with Chicken Duck and the Deluxe Edition, another pop culture podcast. So check all those out. Check out the den.show. So now we're going to move on to the hell's been going on the last couple of weeks.
Oh, it's fucking crazy. Things change. Schedules change for me anyways. Other than that, not really a whole lot. But I just been super lazy. Done no research as usual. And
funny because this is another one of your topics.
Yeah, that's how I like to roll. I try and goat Mike into doing my research for me.
Well, it's sort of your topic, and you know how I research. So I started researching this, and I found a couple things that we'll talk about then. And then I thought, you know what? What else is out there? So we're going to start off
do a little add-on
with the topic that you came up with.
I didn't come up with this.
Okay, but not, you came up with it.
This was my
we had
night YouTube.
We had a discussion about this at work, and I thought, well, let's throw it in there.
Well, the first video I watched of it, I'm like, okay, we're doing this one.
So why don't you tell us what it is?
Okay, so in 1957, the Soviets established a base in Antarctica. Now I wonder, were they right next to the were they right next to the Nazis? Isn't that where they fled to after the war?
No, Argentina.
No, they're also, it's allegedly they went to Antarctica and set up a
I-
secret Nazi base.
Never heard that.
Oh my God, we got to do that episode.
Whoop. You know I'm up for research.
Okay, so anyways, the Soviets established a base in Antarctica.
A research base.
A research base called, was it the name of the,
Yeah, that was the name of it.
or was it the name of the area? Vostok Station. Let's go with that. In 1974, it was discovered a large body of water or lake that was under the ice. Did they say it was like 2 miles of ice or some bullshit?
Johnny, jump ahead.
That's what I gotta do, bro.
Ah,
That's what I gotta do. I gotta be me, Mike.
you do.
Or else
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you, when you watch the 12 movies of Christmas, like 3 times, like, where the fuck is Johnny on this?
I don't intentionally do it. It just happened. You know, it's just what it is. What were you going to say?
It's our chemistry.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to say that it was 2 miles under because that's like way down.
So I should just stop interjecting on myself.
No, just do you, bro.
Okay.
And I'm going to call you out.
This lake was under ice. They began drilling through the ice. And after 30 years of drilling,
Dude, 30 years of
they
drilling.
must have had a crappy drill bit.
It's 2 miles of ice.
Ah, shit, we're using a hammer drill bit. Damn it!
Oh, this is a masonry bit. We needed an ice bit.
I don't want to take us about 30 minutes.
Yo!
Oh, we had to drill in reverse the whole time.
Yo, Mike, why the hell did you give me the wrong bit? Yeah, whatever. You just said get a bit.
On February 5th, 2012, that was the same year that world was supposed to end with the Mayan calendar.
Mm-hmm.
They finally breached the bottom of the ice and into the chamber that contained the lake. Dr. Anton Padalka said he was part of an expedition to explore the lake. According to reports, they descended one by one down the ice shaft. Can you imagine how scary that would be?
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah, because I'm a little claustrophobic and I'm fat.
Then you got all
That had
this
to be
gear.
a big hole.
Yeah. You got all this gear on top of you.
Well, we'll get to it then, but that's one of the things that I found a little inconsistent with the story.
Okay. Where did I leave off?
One by one. Down the shaft. You went one by one down the
Down
shaft.
the shaft. One by one on the shaft. They set camp on the edge of the lake and suited up in cold weather wetsuits to dive in the lake.
So they go all the way down there, and they're going to dive this lake. And what from what I was reading is they expected there to be maybe some prehistoric monsters down there, or some prehistoric animals. They expected to be animals that would be larger than regular size. But
You did it again.
you,
I didn't even say anything. You know what I'm talking about. If you were my shoes and you heard it, you would laugh every time.
Every time.
Every fucking time. For those of you who don't know, Mike somehow, some reason, pronounces monsters munsters. It cracks me up every call on it every time. Okay.
Are we done now?
I think we are.
So the oxygen levels in that lake were reported to be so much higher than what would be in a lake at the surface.
Now, wouldn't that kill you?
Dude,
Isn't there only so much oxygen the water can take before it's not water anymore?
I don't know.
Well, I guess that doesn't make any sense.
Well, the water molecules are what they are. What they're saying is the water itself is oxygenated more.
Would you float?
Which would lend to, it wasn't bubbling.
Sorry, I had some burritos for breakfast. Damn breakfast burritos.
Oh my God, I take a shit. Yeah, the scientists at the top of the hole are like, what's that smell?
Jesus Christ.
Ah, John had burritos.
Fucking bacon.
So they were expecting things to have grown bigger and grown and adapted different and evolved differently. So
That
they're saying they must have entered that hole between February 12th and February 2012 and November 2016. The story itself broke supposedly in 2016. And doing my research, I found on Fox News website this story.
really?
Yes. I think I have the link right there. So
That seems like one of
it
those.
was also in the Daily Mail.
A Drudge Report
No.
links.
So according to Padalka or Padonkadonk, whatever his name is, he said they were attacked by a creature on their very first day. The creature's name was named Organism 46B, which lends me to wonder where's Organism 46A and 45 and 44.
It's not even consistent with like the year they were down there.
No, like I don't get it. So they described it as an octopus-like creature, or maybe a giant squid, with 14 tentacles rather than 8. Which, if my Greek is correct, it would be a decatesaurus, not an octopus. That's only if my Greek is correct.
A decade. What?
Decatesaurus.
I'm trying hard to think something, and it's not. It's
Decatessera is 14 in Greek.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of something sexual. That
I'm sure
my
you
brain
are.
is not firing. Sorry, folks. It's been a while. We've been out of the studio for how long has it been?
3 weeks.
It's been a minute.
Well, me and Lex came down and popped that one out, and we had enough to carry us through.
You tell Lexi I'm starting to think she doesn't like me.
But we were talking about her not being here on the weekend. She goes, it bums her out, but if maybe me and her could pop one on during the weekend,
Yeah,
and get
Go for
something out.
let the world know the things that need to be known.
And we had the podcast therapy dog with us yesterday, Thursday.
Missed that little bastard.
I said he doesn't come down when you're not here. So, this is a quote from Dr. Padalka. We encountered Organism 46B on our first day. It disabled our radios, which we later learned, to our alarm,
We didn't have them plugged in.
was intentional. It's also able to paralyze prey from a distance of up to 150 feet by releasing venom into the water. Tragically, my colleague and lifelong friend was killed this way. So they're saying that this thing was highly intelligent. They're saying that it intentionally disabled their radio so they couldn't communicate with the surface.
Uh-huh.
And
That's after about 5 minutes of diving with this thing?
Yes.
They know all this?
basically, they said as soon as they got in the water, their radios were cut off. It couldn't have been the 2 miles of ice above them.
No. Well, I guess. Well, shit, they would have to go down a 2 mile crevasse tube before they got into the lake?
Yeah, they went down 2 miles, and apparently there's a gap and the lake. So they set up a camp on the shore of the lake.
So they went down 2 miles into the gap, set up camp.
Yeah. And then dove the lake.
Okay.
So, while they were in the lake diving, the group was attacked. The creature released its venom into the water, took hold of one of them, killing it and eating him. As Padalka stated, he tread water wearing a blissful smile as the organism approached him. We watched helplessly as he used his arms to tear off his head, then pop his remains into his mouth. It was as if he had hypnotized him telepathically.
So he made the guy rip his own head off?
No, the creature grabbed him, ripped his head off, and then popped the rest of the body in his mouth.
Oh.
So
that's some killer shit.
Okay.
I made you rip your head off?
Think about this. This thing is that big that it could devour a human.
Like a piece of sushi.
Like a piece of sushi. That's how big it was. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Because that becomes important later.
All right. Oh. I get what you're putting down.
Okay. Still later, 46... that I just shortened it to 46B. 46B stalked the group, displaying a shape-shifting ability, which, honestly, have you ever seen... There's octopus out there and squid out there and cuttlefish that can not only change the color of their skin instantly, but they can also change the texture of their skin to match their surroundings.
I did not know that, no.
But I was watching one where the octopus was sitting there, it went bright white, and then it turned like a multicolored stone color, and then it raised its skin to look like the coral around it. Yeah,
those are very intelligent.
It was weird. So they're saying, this is a quote, it shaped itself into the form of a human diver. I thought it was one of my colleagues swimming towards us in scuba gear. By the time the closest scientists realized what it was, it grabbed him and tore him to bits.
Nice.
So that's 2 down now.
I thought it was a colleague till I realized he had a 6-foot penis bulging from his pants. It looked strangely like a tentacle.
So they escaped the creature, and they were able to lop off one of 46B's tentacles with an axe. So you're diving with an axe.
Okay. It can be done.
Can you think you could swing an axe underwater?
Not very fast.
Okay.
I might be better off suited with like a samurai sword.
No.
It's longer. You can use it like a sawing motion.
Okay. While it's attacking you. It already just killed 2 people by snatching them up.
While it's ripping your arms off one by one.
So supposedly later that night, that tentacle, this is another quote, later that night it slid across the ice bank and strangled her. So the tentacle came back.
Yes, I love it.
Disembodied, slid across the ice and killed the 3rd person. But I think when I was watching something else, they said that 2 people died. And the rest of them made it out. Now they're saying 3 people died.
Yeah, the first story I read was one person, 1 or 2. I didn't really pay close attention to it. I just skimmed through it and like, oh, yeah, we got to do this one. But it was no more than 2 had died, and they came back.
But now there's a 3rd.
Okay. This kind of reminds me of this story my father told me. Now, you probably have heard of this too. But that the hand that got loose, when it was like a hook or something, it had a hook in its hand. Somehow it was like, it got chopped off of like a killer's hand, and they killed the killer, buried him, whatever.
It's a little campfire story.
Yeah, and then like the hand came back to life and like was going around like
Evil Dead style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my dad telling me that story when I was a kid. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to go in the basement. I'm not going to sleep. There's a hand with a hook.
Now, they finally trapped this creature and put it in a tank. They just happen to have a tank down there with them. Because they had no communication with the surface now. Because on the surface, like 3 or 4 days into this, they're worried as shit because they haven't heard anything.
So they, I would tend to think either if they did have communications with them, it would be like one of those. Oh my God, what was Mulder and Scully? What the hell was that thing? What the fuck was that show?
X-Files?
X-Files. It would be like an X-Files thing where they just bury the freaking hole. Whoop. And they all leave and we know nothing.
You jest.
Yeah. So, okay, they had this tank
Now they trapped this creature in a tank. They brought it to the surface with them, where they claimed Russian officials seized the beast and told the international press that they had found nothing. Now, when I did my original research on this, I lost it completely. I don't know what happened to it. But I had a quote from their public relations minister that, and I'm just going to paraphrase now because I don't know the actual quote. He said, "Oh, do you really think if we found something of that significant that we wouldn't share it with the world?"
Yeah.
Well, you're fucking Russia.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't share it with the world. If you thought you could weaponize something.
I don't think any country would share it with the world.
So,
especially Russia.
The aftermath of this is that Dr. Padalka, because he found out that they were going to weaponize this organism 46B, he defected to the U.S. And the Russian government denies all knowledge of any of these claims. So that's the story. Now I have
wait a minute. I just noticed that you scroll down. You got 12 pages of information on this?
No, not on this one.
Oh.
The rest of the stuff. And that's because there's pictures on it.
I got you.
I put the pictures in for you, buddies. Because I knew you wouldn't look.
I can't read. I like pictures.
Show me pictures. So the story can be traced back to a author, Michael C. Forsyth.
Yeah.
C. Michael Forsyth. But he's a fiction author.
I've heard that name before.
And pretty much the whole story is fake. But it was real enough that Fox News has it on their site, and so does the Daily Mail.
I wish it were true.
Okay. I'm not saying I don't wish it was true, but there's a couple holes in this story. Now, according to what I was told, they did block up the hole. They plugged that hole and walked away from that camp, and the Russians haven't been back there since. That was a story I heard. Well, those holes are typically plugged up after they drill them. They don't keep them open. They don't want something to fall down in them. But most of those holes are core sample holes. They're only like this big.
Yeah. So
how are you getting people and a tank down there? And if you had to send your people down one by one, that means the widest that hole was maybe 6 foot wide. Okay?
Yeah.
You with me? How are you getting a tank down there?
Yeah. I don't see it.
So, even if they did drill bigger holes, the story says it descended one by one, certainly not large enough to transport more than one person through 2 miles of ice, never mind it capable of a tank that contained a 30-foot long aquatic creature.
I don't see how you drop down a team of scientists 2 miles down into ice.
A long extension cord?
Right, yeah. What the hell are you using? Like
cable. I mean, they do it in the ocean for drilling.
I'm not saying it can't be done, but I just have questions.
So another point that kind of puts a big shadow on this, that Dr. Padonkadonk, he hasn't, like,
he's got a big old badonkadonk.
He's never been located in the United States. So as far as we know, he doesn't exist.
Maybe he had ass surgery and nobody recognizes him now. He got that big old fat butt taken out.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? You said you'd like it to be true, but you think it is?
I think it'd be fun just to daydream about or read a book that was, this happened. It's a fun story.
It is.
Where it doesn't get fun is if it was actually true and the fucking Russians weaponized it and they could use it against other people. Because that's exactly what our fucked up countries would do.
You absolutely know that's what they would do.
And, but yeah, as far as this gigantic, just the operation of getting down there and again, secret's not getting out. Like 30 years just to drill a hole down to this lake?
Well, that part I can believe.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
They drill holes like they drill the deepest hole in the world, wherever is someplace in Russia, I think. And it took 25 or 30 years to drill that one.
So I was wondering if, you know how the further down you go in water, the more pressure it is. Is it the same? No, I guess it can't be because the ice isn't touching you. So you're still under atmospheric pressure. You're
still under one atmosphere. That's it.
But I don't know. I just think it would be a cool story or cool, like, small book to read, and we make a cheesy B movie.
Oh, you can make a cheesy B movie out of that easy.
There's got to be some titties in it and stuff. Absolutely.
Right away, dude. Right, like you just got to pervert everything.
Like, what would you do? You're down.
You're gonna go down in a cold water wetsuit, see a monster, and flashy boobies.
But no, according to them, they were chilling out on the beach. They got a lawn chair set up.
The edge of the lake.
The whole nine.
I don't know if there was a beach or a campfire or any of that shit. Anyway, so thinking about this creature, I began to think like
cryptid.
It's absolutely a cryptid. There's no. But thinking about that, I was thinking about what other kind of animals in the world could people think are monsters, or just rare animals out there. I said it.
I know.
I said it. Or rare animals out there, or things that you've never seen before. And the funny thing was, I was just watching a video, the short videos on YouTube, or not YouTube, on Facebook the other day, and I saw a guy pick up one of these creatures that I found on here, and he had it in his hand. And the problem with it is I happen to know what it is because I've seen stuff on it before, and it's very poisonous. And the guy's like, "Oh, can anybody tell me what this is?" Huh. So, the first one I have, it's
Okapi.
Okapi. It's basically, and I'm gonna throw the pictures up here. It looks like a cow head with a sort of giraffe body, and then a zebra legs and hind end. But they said it's very rare. It's known as a forest giraffe. It's from the or a Congolese giraffe, or a zebra giraffe. It's a mammal. God, I'm not reading that word. It's.
I can't see where you're at. I'm lost. Artiodactyl.
Okay.
Artiodactyl mammal. That is endemic to the Northeast Republic of Congo.
Yeah, Congo.
Central Africa.
It has striped markings, but
I can read it, but I don't know what it means.
That means that's where it's from. I don't know what that means.
Artiodactyl.
I don't know.
It has something with its wings.
It's a pterodactyl, a mammal.
Yeah. It can retract its wings.
Yeah.
So,
it's got striped markings like a zebra, but it's closely related to the giraffe. The funny thing about this one is, and I've seen this guy's tongue is so long, he could touch behind his ear with his tongue.
So he's like the aftermath of like some kind of fucking gangbang.
Yeah.
Some kind of Middle East Congo gangbang.
Jesus.
The Blue Dragon.
Now this one is the one that I saw, the Blue Dragon.
I would never pick that thing up. Would you pick that up?
Hell no. It's tiny too. It's this tiny little thing.
And it floats in water?
Yes. It floats upside down in the water.
Oh, I wonder what this thing is. Let me put my face up to it.
It uses the surface tension of the water to basically slide underneath the water. It's a nudibranch.
Of course.
Which is a shellless mollusk. It floats upside down using surface tension. It floats around with the current and the winds, so wherever it pushes, it pushes.
Like a rolling stone.
And then
there's no moss.
I saw a guy pick this fucking thing up, but it's poisonous.
Somewhere.
But that thing is cool, isn't it?
It looks cool. Somewhere some bastard has thought about eating it. What do I got to do to eat this thing?
I wonder if this would be good with shallots.
Yeah. So a little couple shallots, some onion.
So the next one is a narwhal. Which narwhal?
This is weird. I just I heard about this thing, and I was watching Survivor Man, and he was in the Antarctic. He was talking about narwhals. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that narwhal. And you would just see the spear, like, jumping out of the water. And like, I'm like, what the fuck is that thing?
I know in a lot of sci-fi fantasy, they use narwhals as magical creatures. And I always thought they were mythical. And
it looks like a seal with a unicorn, like a sharpened stick coming out of its face.
So it looks like a cross between a whale and a unicorn, or a seal. It does look like that picture right there. Looks like a seal.
Yeah.
With a spiral tusk jutting from its head.
Yeah, it looks like it has like a fucking wooden spear in its mouth, and it's coming to run you down.
Most of the males have the tusk. Sometimes they even have two of them. The tusk can grow up to as long as 10 foot.
Jesus.
And it's actually an enlarged tooth. Ongoing research by the World Wildlife Fund collaborators indicate that the tusk has sensory capability with up to 10 million nerve endings inside. The tusk may also play a role in the way the males exert dominance. But that is a cool yet freaky looking creature.
I wouldn't want to swim with it.
No, I don't think so.
It's
Especially if they swim in packs.
Gets pissed off at you and you look like a pincushion. This thing's ugly.
And this one in the news you've heard a little bit about over the last few years. They've caught a couple of these now, but they're usually deep depth sharks. The Goblin Shark. It's a rare shark, even called a living fossil. Its lineage goes back some 125 million years. It usually is at a depth of 330 feet or more, with the adults found much deeper than juveniles. Usually the ones that they catch in the nets and stuff are juveniles because they come closer to the surface.
Yeah.
Given the depths that they live in, they possess no threat to humans. But look at that nasty mush.
Yeah, it's just weird. It looks like almost like the back teeth look like really. The front teeth look like if they would just rip right out.
Yeah,
it'll probably fuck you up. You know, he's gonna leave you with like 100 teeth sticking inside you,
like a porcupine.
They could probably grow them back in like a couple days.
That is a nasty looking creature. The next one is, and when I started doing this list, I wanted this one on the list because I watched the program on this one. And even in modern times, they've upped the reward to find a live one of these to like 1.25 million. The Tasmanian Tiger, or the technical name is Thylacine. It's not really a tiger, it's a marsupial, more closely related to wombats, koalas, koala bears, and kangaroos. The common nickname is Tasmanian wolf. The Greek name is Thylacinus cynophallus, which means dog-headed pouch mammal. That's a direct translation.
Okay.
Both male and females of this animal have pouches. Now, this picture was taken a long time ago. They had one in captivity in 1936, and when that one died, they thought it was the last one ever. Some people believe it's still alive. There have been no confirmed sightings of it, but there have been reported sightings where people said, yeah, I saw this thing. There was actually, I think it was Liam Neeson did a movie where he was hunting this.
Oh, God, of course.
Ted Turner in '83 offered a $100,000 bounty for a living Tasmanian tiger.
So he could kill it.
Yeah. Here's an odd fact about Ted Turner. Ted Turner is the largest owner of private land, or was it? He's still alive? When he was alive, if he was alive, he was the largest private holder of land.
He's the guy from the news, right?
Yeah, the Turner Network.
Yeah.
TNT.
That doesn't surprise me.
In 2005, an Australian magazine raised that prize to $1.25 million. But this thing is a cool looking animal.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a wolf jackal.
And that's like, I guess what I want to say, like the first one, you had that weird giraffe, zebra thing. Is that like, that's not legit? Is that an inbred animal, or is that just the way it was?
That's the way it was.
The same with the Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah, it's just a cool looking animal.
They just, I guess, hunted them till extinction.
So the Akita is a cute little thing.
Looks like a toy.
It does look like a toy. It only grows about 4 or 5 feet long, so it's only like this big. It's remember the porpoise family?
Yeah, it looks like a dolphin.
Yeah. It's currently the rarest animal on Earth. There's only 10. They said they can confirm 10, but they suspect there's up to 30 of them left in the world. The species was discovered in 1958. It has a very small range. It's only been seen in one part of the world, and that's the northern part of the Gulf of California. It has the smallest range of any whale, dolphin, or porpoise. I don't know. Have you ever watched like the aquarium shows or the zoo shows?
Yeah.
Okay. All they do with all those animals is try to breed them.
Mm-hmm.
Like their main thing is try, and it's for species preservation. I get that.
Except for the killer whales. Like that's for pure profit.
I don't know if any have been bred in captivity.
I'm not sure they breed them in captivity. I don't think they do. No, I lie. Yes, they do. Yeah, fuck yeah, they do. What am I talking about? Yeah, because you have to watch a documentary. It was on the one killer whale that basically SeaWorld like swept the whole controversy under the water, and they knew that this thing was aggressive, and they kept breeding it. So this killer whale number one, his lineage goes all over the place, and you could see the aggressiveness and all of his. But they get a shitload of money from other countries and this and that. That should be another one. That's why SeaWorld gets a lot of shit from people, because they've had a lot of fucking problems and they got so much money they can sweep the shit under the rug. Mm. But I forget what it was. I saw it on Netflix, I think. It was really, really good.
But there's none of these are in captivity any place, so there's no breeding program to sustain the species. So what's left in the wild is what's left in the wild, and that's it. This one's specifically for you, John.
Yay!
It's called the penis snake.
That's not real. That's some guy's penis.
It's also known as the John snake.
Look, he's got no eyes. That thing is nasty. Can you imagine that thing slithering over your face in the middle of the night?
Jesus Christ, John!
So it's a peculiar eyeless animal.
Yes,
is actually called Erotoconine.
Yeah. It's a large, presumably aquatic. They don't. I guess they don't know.
Well, he does look wet.
Sicilian amphibian with a broad, flat head, fleshy dorsal fin on the body. It's found in Brazil, the Brazilian rainforest. It was originally discovered in the 1800s and rediscovered again in 2011.
What does it eat?
You know what? I don't know. They could grow up to 32 inches long, so not really huge. Much like the python, they have found these in the Florida Everglades now.
Really?
Yes.
This podcast is brought to you by Bear Claw Kitchen. Head on over to bearclawkitchen.com and check out their amazing selection of granola bars and granola snack packs. They also have hazel and spice granola butter, maple syrup, pancake mix, and a few different flavors of jam. So, once again, Head over to bearclawkitchen.com and use code DELUXE15 at checkout to save 15% off your entire order. And then it's time to devour and claw on.
All right, we're back. John had to take a moment to compose himself after seeing the penis snake.
Oh,
We refreshed our beers. What do I have here? Cosmic Oblivion, Adroit Theory.
what?
And
Holy shit, that looks orange as hell.
it does. You want me to pour some out for you?
Yeah, I don't mind taking a little sip of that. I don't think we haven't had that one before.
I don't think so.
Ah, yes.
Looks good. In our official Take on the World beer tasting glass,
Take on the world, yeah.
I got John the Sheets Project Holy Days,
Yay, it's back.
the 2021 edition.
Where you at, Wawa? Actually, they had Wawa beer at Total Wine and More. I guess they only sell it down closer to Philly.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, that is made by Wicked Weed Brewing.
Wicked weed.
Anyway, back to our strange animals.
Back to the cock snake.
This next one's a pacu.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this thing.
Yeah, Jeremy Wade caught one of these.
Yeah, this is like in the Amazon jungle, in the Amazon River.
It's I didn't put where it was from. How about that? But look at those. They look like human teeth.
Yeah.
It looks like they took somebody's dentures and put them in his mouth. It grows to average 12 to 24 inches long, but they've grown up as large as 42 inches.
I wonder how strong their jaws are.
I don't know, but they
Well,
said,
look at this. Look.
oh, they can crack nuts and grind up plants. They're known as vegetarian piranha, but they do eat crustaceans as well. So they're omnivore. And they have two sets of blunt molars that are used for cracking nuts and grinding up plants. But that is
What an ugly motherfucker.
River Monsters. He caught one of those.
Wonder what they taste like.
I don't know.
A pangolin.
This thing is so cool.
I used to have a book I read my daughter. It's called Roly Poly Pangolin.
Really?
Mhm.
I just think these are the coolest looking animals.
It's got a cool set of armor.
So the pangolin averages 4 to 7 pounds. So they're not big. Like every time I look at them, they look like they're huge, but they're not big. There's 8 different species of them. 4 of them are in Africa and 4 of them are in Asia. They are also called scaly anteaters because of their preferred diet. Pangolins are also the most trafficked mammal in the world.
Well, when the height of the coronavirus, or the beginning of the coronavirus, it was believed that that's what caused coronavirus.
I thought it was a bat.
There was a couple different ones, but one of them was the penguin. And for a while, I had a poster that I printed out in my room or in my office that said, I think there's a picture of that. It said, "Please don't eat me," or not for eating, not for human consumption.
So the demand for them is primarily in Asia and is growing in Africa for the meat and the scales. There's also a demand in the United States for pangolin products, particularly for their leather, to be used in boots, bags, and belts. But that is... I could easily see that fighting Godzilla.
Yeah. Except for it's tiny.
Yeah, except for it's tiny. But like some of these pictures, really, you don't get scale from it until you see someone holding it.
But I believe that's literally its defense is just to roll up into a ball and
Yes.
roll away.
Yeah. So that was the coolest one on the list. I saved that one for last.
The old penguin.
So that's the ones I had. Do you have any that you can think of off the top of your head? There was a couple. There was like
there's not a cryptid, but I know there was
a finger-nosed mole. You ever see that thing?
No.
See if I can find it. What were you talking about? Not a cryptid?
It's not a cryptid, but it's the Bengal Tiger.
Uh.
And we just watched a video of this bastard. There was two guys on an elephant. What? Fuck. That thing's odd.
That is weird. Yeah, that's the finger nose mole. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, these two guys were on an elephant, and one's like directing the elephant which way to go, and there's a soldier on behind him, and he's got a big rifle, and they're in tall grass. I think it was in India somewhere, and probably from like here to 20 feet away, the camera's like looking around. I think there was a guy on another elephant recording this elephant with these two guys, and all of a sudden you just see this Bengal tiger jump out of the tall grass, and he just like this with his paws wide open like this, teeth bearing down, and he fucking swipes at the guy in the front, and then it cuts, and seconds later you see the guy holding his arm up, and his hand's all but fucking gone, and it's just dangling down from like a piece of skin. And the dude on the back starts shooting into the grass to try and scare it so they can see where it's going, and it gets weird. But that was another. I was watching one of the Survivor Man kick over the weekend, and he was in India, and he was talking about how when they set him off into this place, there was a Bengal tiger that killed like 27 people that year so far. So they wouldn't let him film alone. They had guys in the woods, like, so you couldn't see him. Because every once in a while I'll get a flash of them, but I can't see them. And they're armed with rifles. But yeah, so not a cryptid, but
no, these weren't really cryptids. They were just odd animals.
Yeah, odd animal. But I mean, if you look at it though, like really a Bengal tiger, that's the black and orange striped tiger. And how the hell does that thing blend into green grass so well? Like, it was literally like, I got to show you the video. It's awesome. I mean, this thing leaps like 10 feet out of he gets a running start first. Then he leaps like 10 feet in the air and just fucking, Could you imagine that?
No.
Basically lopped the dude's arm off, or hand off.
Yeah.
And they said that they're average between 300 to 400 pounds. That's a big fucking cat.
I had a big old kitty cat.
Yeah. All muscle.
So our videos are on Spotify now, and Spotify started a new thing, even with just the audio, where they get a 5-star rating on them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're listening on Spotify and the ratings are up on your update, make sure you give us a rating. Helps out. Like I said, if you don't like us, that's fine.
Don't be addicted to Terracipus.
Give us a 5-star, you suck. But it only takes a second to give us a thumbs up or a like or a star or 5.
Preferably 5.
So, you got anything else, bro?
No, that's it. I'm satisfied with the care.
No other monsters you want to talk about?
No other monsters. Unless there's cheese involved. That's probably all you're going to hear this episode is me and Mike eating cheese and sausage. Maybe we'll call this HMSMR Cryptids.
Yeah. No. It's good to have you back in studio.
Yeah. I'm not there yet. I feel like I'm getting there.
I was afraid that maybe I smelled and that's why you weren't coming.
Yes. Well, you still smell, but I
got over it.
I probably smell worse.
We sang Blue Christmas in the last episode. Me and Lexi. Christmas.
There he is. I don't know if you can see him.
Yeah, you can see him on camera. Always have Elvis in the studio with us.
Old Elvis.
He was our first fan.
Old Elvis.
Wrote us a nice letter.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we took on the Vostok Station,
Yeah.
and some pretty strange animals, including a
snake.
Decatesserapus.
Yeah. I still can't pronounce that. Decaratessapus. Decatercera.
Decatesserapus. Decatesserapus.
Okay. Yeah. So if you ever run into one, remember.
Use its proper name.
Yeah. Don't go
calling
chasing
it an octopus.
waterfalls.
Yeah, don't go chasing waterfalls,
Don't go
baby.
chasing 2 mile sunken lakes.
Yeah. So, did you decide that the story was fake or true?
Oh my god, yeah. When the first video I watched, I was like, "This is so
well, you brought it to me like it was real.
I know.
You're a dick. So, we took on all that. You go take on the world.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Our podcasts exist because of listeners like you. To find other great shows, head over to theden.show. Thanks for listening.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that.
Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.